Hi, I'm your host Vasco Duarte. Welcome to the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast, where we share tips and tricks from Scrum Masters around the world. Every day, we bring you inspiring answers to important questions that all Scrum Masters face day after day. On Fridays, we talk about the product owner role in Scrum. We talk about patterns and anti-patterns that relate to ours and the team's collaboration with the product owner. And we've also put together a course to help you navigate that relationship. There's 18 modules, nearly 8 hours of tools, techniques, videos, handouts, presentations you can use to help you and your team work better with your product owner. The course is available at bit.ly/coachyourPO. All lowercase, all one word. That's bit.ly/coachyourPO. And now, on to the show, the Product Owner Show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our TGIF and the Product Owner episode this week with Priyanka Gorai. Hi, Priyanka. Welcome back.
Hi, Vasco. Thank you.
So Friday is Product Owner. And of course, we want to talk about Product Owner because we form a partnership, Scrum Masters and Product Owners, that if it works well, can work wonders and help the team. And if it doesn't work, then of course it can cause problems. And that's where we will start. We will start with the bad example. We'll finish up on a high with a great example later on. But for now, Priyanka, share with us what might have been potentially the worst product owner anti-pattern you've witnessed in your career.
So I'll start with one where I got a chance to work with a product owner who used to do a lot. Because there were no Scrum Master before I joined the team, she used to take responsibility for both the Scrum Master role and product owner role. And so much so that she was involved in each and everything. And she didn't have the clarity of her own role, of the product owner role. Since before becoming a product owner, she was also part of that same team. So technically, she was very strong. She can actually work on these stories and create things out of there. So she was very much involved with the team, so much so that she got burnt out within few months. So that's something which a product owner should not do. They should know how much is the limitation, how much work they should do, and what are the different roles and why do we have them. For example, if there is a Scrum Master, if there are other team members, they also need to do their own tasks. If you start doing everything for everyone, it will be too much for you, and then you are overloaded and you'll get burnt out.
And that's a great tip, right? Like to have that first conversation with the PO to establish what are your expectations and what are their expectations so that you can work well together.
So that is one of the anti-pattern I've seen. And the next one is just opposite. Absent product owner who is not there for the team. Sometimes, as I've seen that product owners, they think they are not part of the team. They behave like a project manager. Like, okay, their task is only to inform the team what the team should deliver, and that's it. Now the team should organize themselves, plan everything, divide the stories, create the task, and complete everything, and then give it to them, give it to the product owner. And if they have any confusion about priorities, about things, the product owner is not there to help them. So there is lack of communication, misunderstanding, which might cause a lot of problems. I've actually seen problems causing that, because in this kind of situation, product owner is, for example, is expecting the team to help and create a backlog to help the product owner. But that's the expectation which the product owner is not clearly mentioning to the team. It's just sending an email and then waiting that, okay, they will share it. And in the next meeting, if they are not doing it, it's like, okay, the team is not understanding. But the problem here is you are not clearly communicating with the team properly. You have to tell them what are your expectations, and you have to agree with them. that okay, that's how we're gonna work and that's how we're gonna do things. But if the product owner is not there to communicate, to clarify the doubts or the questions the team has, then the team is will also just wait for the product owner to come and ask them. So this is a situation where both are waiting for each other and nothing is moving.
And this is because communication is not done effectively, right? Like I just send an email, I don't even explain why or what I'm trying to reach. I just say, hey, I need this blank. And then of course the team doesn't have that information. They will have to go and try to figure it out. But when they come back to the product owner, because they don't understand why they are asked, they probably delivered the wrong information or at least in the wrong way, right? So that's a very good point, that product owner and team need to have really good communication. They need to work really well together to establish expectations clearly. And I think that's a great example of where the Scrum Master can come in and build that, right? Build that ability to have that conversation and to come to a common agreement.
Exactly. And here also the Scrum Master skill of observing and listening really helps, because they are not saying things to each other. And as a Scrum Master, you really need to observe where the problem is, why things are not moving, who is waiting for what, and where is the confusion. And then you have to get them all together and say, guys, this is the problem. You need to speak up and you need to discuss this and agree on some point so that you can start working on it. Because just sending an email doesn't mean that everything will be ready, because the team might have, and actually they will have a lot of questions. When, why? Yeah, a lot of them. And as a product owner, you need to clarify those questions and not just send details and wait for the ultimate result.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can help a lot in that, right? We can
Yes,
contribute
yes.
a lot. Great stuff. These are great anti-patterns to keep in mind and to look out for, of course. And now we turn our attention to the opposite, Priyanka, the mirror image of this, which might have been potentially the best product owner you've ever worked with. So describe them for us.
Really, I mean, I feel I'm very lucky that I got a chance to work with this product owner. That was my first team. And that's how I learned about the product owner role and Scrum Master role. So, this is the product owner who had a really good idea of the product, of the business, and who can easily answer most of the questions from the team. So the way he used to work is he used to be always available for the team. And this is the time I was talking, this is about before the corona time, and we used to work together in office, and the product owner just used to sit next to us, and whenever a team member have any questions or doubt about the product, they can easily reach out to the product owner, and he used to listen to them very carefully, and if he can answer at that moment, he used to do that. If not, then he used to collect more information and then used to share with everyone. And the way he used to prepare for each and every meeting, for example, sprint planning, he used to have a lot of preparation. I remember when I started as a Scrum Master with him, so he planned sessions with me, like, okay, Priyanka, how it's going, let's see what can we plan. Okay, if plan A works, then fine, or else let's have a plan B. So having a good preparation for planning session, having a good preparation for the review meetings, having a good preparation for the entire upcoming backlog. The backlog used to be so well refined and organized that it was so easy for the team that they can pick things very easily. They had that clarity because they have been explained the vision of that product so well. They can easily work on it. They can easily proceed. And whenever they have the question, they have the product owner with them. They can ask them anytime, because that product owner, he used to be there in each and every meeting. So what I have also seen sometimes, that product owner, they don't prefer to join the stand-ups or the retrospectives, remaining sprint events. But this was the product owner who actually used to be there for each and every meeting and actually answered all the questions the Scrum team had.
Yeah, that ability to be present is really important. And you exemplified it very clearly when you talked about the PO listening very carefully to the team member. And instead of jumping into an answer, they would assess whether they could or not. And if not, they would come back later with more information.
Exactly.
That's a great example of how product owners are mindful or can be mindful of the team's needs and are there to serve the teams as much as the product, right? Because it's the teams that ultimately succeed with the product. They deliver the product.
Yeah, and also this feeling of considering themselves as a part of the team to help. I mean, it's not that the team is working for them. They are working together. I mean, the product owner, Scrum Master, and the development team all working together for a goal. That's how a team should be. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All working together for a goal. Well said. Priyanka, it was a pleasure to have you here this week. Unfortunately, we're getting close to the end, but before we go, do share with us, where can we find out more about you and the work that you're doing?
Thank you so much, Vasco, for giving me this platform, for letting me share all these stories. You can easily find me in LinkedIn. I'm very active there. And I would like to have like-minded people in my network. So please do reach out to me. Yeah.
Absolutely. I was just going to say that, exactly that. Reach out to Priyanka and do ask questions, share feedback about what you heard, and of course, learn from each other. Do that community of practice at large, right? Like we are all part of that worldwide community of practice for Scrum Masters.
Yes.
Priyanka, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for your generosity with your time and your knowledge.
Thank you, Vasco.
One more week of the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast is over, but there's a lot more we have to share. We have developed our own membership site where you find a community of active and engaged Scrum Masters. In this site, you get access to exclusive content and get to interact with us, your podcast hosts, as well as the best Scrum Masters in the world. Join us at scrummastertoolbox.com/podcast and keep this podcast free of advertising. See you next week for one more week full of Scrum Master tips and tricks. We really hope you liked our show. And if you did, why not rate this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes? Share this podcast and let other Scrum Masters know about this valuable resource for their work. Remember that sharing is caring.